What's good, everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of the Playconomics podcast, where we are breaking down the business behind our favorite video games and providing you sweet financial context for industry trends. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Mascari, and as always, I am joined by the sleep-deprived, work-stressed, the Forbidden West, Bobby Kawecki.
That's me, bud. That's
What's going
me.
on?
What's going on is your Elgato face cam level quality in all of its just...
It's an upgrade.
It is an upgrade. It is eye-meltingly beautiful. It's as if I saw an angel. I know if you're listening to the podcast, not watching the podcast, right now
I look better.
I'm melting like the villain at the end of Indiana Jones 1, where he melts, he turns into the skeleton.
Bobby's never seen my face before.
That's the level of crispness that is just emanating from Matt's mic.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Not my mic, my camera.
It is. Hey, how you been, pal?
You know, very busy. As I know you were. Work has been actually very demanding the last couple weeks. But
how dare my job ask me things?
I know. But
how dare they ask me for services at the level at which I am paid in return for my time? The nerve. Also, Matt, your mic's coming a little hot. Do you want to lower that two notches? All good for the people at home.
I'm just saying my soundbar is the same as yours.
Is it? Because I'm seeing you're coming in hot.
It
feels a little bit louder for the people listening at home. This is gonna be hell in the edit. This is gonna be
all right.
There we go. Beautiful,
sweet spot.
Delicious.
But more importantly than work, nobody cares about work. Bobby, you've had it for a full 2 weeks now.
2 weeks, yeah.
How's Horizon? Tell me about the Forbidden West.
All right, so I'll make this quick because I want you to talk about Elden Ring. Horizon Forbidden West. Okay. So after listening back to our podcast last week, I realized that maybe my thoughts weren't as succinct as I would have liked them to be. So I'll try to be a little more in depth here now. Spoilers ahead. If you don't want to hear spoilers for Horizon Forbidden West, I don't know, skip ahead like 8 minutes. I've beaten the main story. Cool. Right? Maybe because I blew through it like in a weekend. Like I was only mainlining story last weekend because I wanted to see the main path through. I knew that this is a platinum game for me and that most of that platinum lives within side quests and collectibles, right? Cool. Blew through the main story. Cool. Trinity from the Matrix is the ultimate villain. Awesome. Neat. Couple standout moments. There is a moment in which you go to what is the ruins of Las Vegas, and you think it's going to be a desert level. And the game does this wonderful bait and switch with you where the thing you're looking for is actually in a deep underground cavern that's completely flooded. So it's really cool. So you go down like an elevator shaft, and then you've been in the desert, and then the whole rest of the level is in this underwater cavern, which is really cool. And you fight like this big like sea T-Rex dinosaur thing. Really standout moment, really awesome. You get your flying mount at the end of the game. Great.
Nice.
Very cool. At this point, I have overridden all the tall necks, which are like, if you've ever played like a Ubisoft game, like it's like the map points, like in Assassin's Creed, like you get to the point, you synchronize, and like part of the map is revealed.
Yep.
So the whole map is now clear to me. So I'm on the road now where, okay, I've done all the tall necks, time to do all the cauldrons, time to do all the melee pits, boop, 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 boop. And that'll probably take, depending on my work to life stress balance, 2 weeks. It might take 2 years. Who knows? The game is as pretty as I said it was.
Yep.
It is really, really how do I put this, right? I don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, it's the prettiest game I've ever seen. But it's one of the few games that I'm like, photo mode was made for shit like this. Really and truly. Really beautiful. Like the sunsets. It's got a really nice style to it. What I'm more impressed with, and I'll kind of put a pin in this, Horizon's a great game. If you haven't played it, it is a system seller game. Next to Spider-Man Miles Morales, and even more than I would have said Ratchet and Clank, Horizon is the first game that I could say really truly justifies why you bought a PS5. It lives up to the console on that level.
What more could you want?
Not much. What I was going to say was I completely didn't realize how many monsters or dinosaurs, machines, whatever, there are in the game that I missed because I was mainlining the story, right? Because obviously part of the platinum is filling out your Pokedex, let's call it, right? Like see and scan all of the machines.
Yep.
And I went through the whole thing and I was like, oh, I have a lot of unchecked squares. And then I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen the big turtle from the trailers. Went out, saw the big turtle. Very cool.
Now you gotta scan them, right?
You gotta scan them. And here is final spoiler. And then we'll move on to Elden Ring. The last, and it's a cutscene. The last cutscene in Horizon, as you're gearing up for the final battle, is one of the coolest goddamn things ever. Because the antagonists in the game, they have their own machines, and their machines are very, I want to say, like, they almost look like silicone, like they look like the bad Terminator from Terminator 2. Like they're very long and like tentacly, right? But they're still machine-like, if that makes any sense. Whereas like the machines that you face in the game are a lot sharper and angular. So there's a clear difference. And the last cutscene of the game is all of the robot T-Rexes and all of the robot Spinosauruses, the slaughter spines, if you'll remember from last week.
Love it.
A huge herd of both of those just going ham on these other antagonist machines that kind of look like octopus ant type things. They look like the bugs from Starship Troopers, if you're any Starship Trooper fans out there. You're not. Starship Troopers is a wonderful late 90s film.
Great.
Love it. On the road to the platinum. But it's so funny that Horizon, I understand why they released it in March, because it's like 5 years to when the original Horizon released. But like, if I'm at Guerrilla Games or I'm at Sony, not that this time it's not as big of a one-to-one comparison, but the original Horizon released like the same week as the Switch and Breath of the Wild released. And now this Horizon's releasing like a week from Elden Ring. So like if I'm Guerrilla, I'm like, oh my God, why are we all releasing our game next to all of these big, also open world RPGs? I don't think it's as bad this time, because I think Elden Ring is definitely its own thing apart from what Horizon is. Love it. Play it. Bobby stamp of approval. Matt, spill the deets on Elden Ring.
I have been waiting all week to discuss this game because I played it Friday, I played it Saturday, I played it Sunday. I didn't play it Monday. I played it Tuesday for 8 hours.
Good.
Yesterday I couldn't play it, and I was literally playing it before you logged on, and that's why I was late.
Good.
But
that means the Souls bug has bitten you.
Yeah.
And it's in your blood now.
So I spent the first 10 hours, or no, the first like 5 or 6 hours playing a bandit that I wanted to make into an archer.
How'd that go for you, bud? Bad?
Awful. 1, combat's very difficult as bandit.
Yes.
It's almost all parrying, and it's impossible to do very early game with my skill level. Bow was probably the worst decision I could have ever made, because you either sacrifice being able to level up in the game, or you do what I did and you spend 3 out of the 5 hours that you played foraging for arrows
Good.
just to realize that anyone that is not a run-of-the-mill knight takes like 30.
Good. Wonderful.
And in that 3 hours, I maybe got 100 arrows. I fought one, not even mini boss, just stronger enemy. And lost all of my arrows. And I put the game down and was like, that's it for the weekend. I start playing it Tuesday and was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not spending all of my time playing this game tonight on farming arrows. So that's when I texted the Discord and was like, boys, what do I do?
Oh,
I
the
got
Discord. Sorry to stop you, Matt. What's Discord?
Discord. We talk about games with you guys all the time. Mainly Elden Ring right now. Every once in a while, the accountant will bring up Destiny and we'll kind of just like his post and keep him going. But no, I'm kidding. But we talk about
Join the
games.
Discord. It's a great
That's what we're
community.
saying.
Fellow Playconomists.
Links below.
QR code in the description. Sorry to cut you off, Matt. It was a perfect opportunity for a plug.
No worries. Love to see it. Love to see it. However, I was in our Discord and I asked, boys, what should I play? Bobby berated me with guides.
Mm-hmm.
I settled.
Fextra Life, man. He's a lifesaver.
Solid. Get him on the podcast. We'll talk about Elden Ring.
I'd love to.
However, I settled on Paladin. It's much, much better. So, what do I think of the actual game? I've told you about my character. 1, the intro is a million times better than the other Souls games that I've played, meaning Dark Souls 3.
Good. Okay. We needed to clarify that for the pod.
2, I did not like Dark Souls 3. I do like Elden Ring.
Good.
2,
That means it's got you. It's got its hooks. The bear trap is closed.
For 2 reasons. 1, it is a better intro experience.
Now, when you say better, just to quantify for the people at home, more user friendly? Is it what is better?
So they start you off in a linear progression of I won't spoil it for anybody, but you fight no enemies and then you get to a cutscene. The presentation of the first cutscene is awesome. And then you go into the actual world. From there, from there you get dropped into this cave, and as you're moving along, you don't have to read the things on the floor for directions. It's not a tutorial, but you're approaching an enemy and it cuts to a menu and tells you the best way to handle that enemy.
Okay, interesting. So that's very un-Soulsborne.
Yes. And on top of that, they added a mechanic that I like very much and has made me playing the game much more enjoyable.
Which is?
I'll get to it. Actually, no, it's less important than the next thing. So the new mechanic is stealth.
It's new to a Dark Souls game kind of thing,
right?
Yeah, like
obviously
they had it in Sekiro.
Yeah.
That was like the main thing in Sekiro.
Fair. They added it in, and I am thinking that I would like Sekiro because I've been talking to my friend Pete about it, and it seems like should have been the Soulsborne game that I went into instead of Dark Soul. But the stealth aspect is basically that you can crouch and walk around enemies and they're not immediately alerted to your position.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you the opportunity to take a pack of enemies and turn it into one actual enemy because you just assassinate the other one. Or you do enough damage to make them very, very, very weak.
Yeah, see, the thing with Sekiro, I would argue that combat-wise, Sekiro is actually the hardest of the Soulsborne because there's no options. You've only got a katana in Sekiro. Like you have like secondary weapons, but all of them in Sekiro are very specific use cases. Like you have firecrackers, you have a spear, but like the spear is only good for armored enemies and it doesn't really do damage. It just disarmors the armored enemies. And if you try to use the spear on anything else, it doesn't really do anything, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that in terms of Sekiro, it's all stealth. Like if you really want to, I'd say like 70% of like the you know regular NPCs can be stealthed.
Yeah. What I do like that they did, and I was worried they weren't going to, is that even though you were stealth and you get behind the enemy and you get to critically attack them, it doesn't kill every enemy.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It
It
depends on
may,
your scaling and stuff like that.
yeah, I'm sure you could get to a point where it will kill every enemy or most enemies, but the first, I think it's like Gatewatch Ruins. You can one shot every enemy there as my character. My brother was playing as a different, I forget, I think he was a prophet. He could not one shot anybody. It was at least it was one backstab and then he had to fight them a little bit. I was able to one shot everyone but the main person. And the main
Mm,
person wasn't really close. He was still at about half health, but it made him manageable from there. So the addition of stealth makes it a lot better because I feel like I could strategize a lot more than I was in Dark Souls.
I like it. I'm excited to play. I've already got like 3 builds in my head that I'm gonna do. One's gonna be an all mage, one's gonna be a spell sword, and then I'm gonna do like a tank, just straight up
Yeah.
heavy great sword build. But I'm
But
glad you're liking it. Real quick, my question
yep,
is,
hit me.
how is objectives handled? Because the world is so much bigger than in past Dark Souls game, it was just like, okay, go.
Yep.
How is that handled in a even bigger open world like Elden Ring?
So objectives are basically non-existent. And what
Good.
I mean by that is that there is a goal. And you were told from the very beginning of the game you need to kill or you need to become the Elden Lord. No description of how to. You go to sites of grace, which are basically bonfires,
Mm-hmm.
and they point you in the direction you should be going. So there's like a beam of light that comes out of it and it just points
Interesting.
north. And if you go to the next one or a different one, it'll just point you so that you're walking straight towards the path to the boss.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I want to enjoy my time with Horizon, but I cannot wait to jump into Elden Ring. I'm so
Uh,
excited.
the open world does something that I think will keep me playing this game versus Dark Souls. Eventually I got frustrated and left. Is I'll get frustrated on an enemy and go leave and find another pack of enemies or find another like hidden town or just go to a completely different zone. You can get ashes of war. You can get different armor drops from different enemies. There's so much to do that instead of just pounding my face into a boss, I can go either farm a town, I could go kill a mini boss, I could go find out what's in this castle that's in the distance that's over behind me that isn't towards the main boss and the main story progression. It's just the non-linearity of it makes it so that the game is a lot more enjoyable when you get to the parts that you can't beat.
So, question: did you
Yeah.
play it on Series S and Series X?
I did. I did play it on both of them.
Okay, so no, this is a real question because I'm hearing a lot of scuttlebutt that it doesn't run great
On the S?
on anything. I'm hearing a scuttlebutt that it's you get a lot of frame dips and stuff like that. Is that internet hype or is that something?
It it's I haven't experienced it. So I've played on my actually I don't think I have played on my X. I played exclusively on my S now that I think about it. I played on my monitor in my office, which was phenomenal. I didn't notice it wasn't my X. And then I played it on like a 65-inch TV in a hotel room. That was noticeably worse because as the TV expanded, it
Of
was
course,
apparent.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're
So
playing at like 1440. Yeah, okay, that
yeah.
makes sense.
So that
But in
was
terms of
noticeable.
forget graphically, fidelity wise, it's running good.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
All
fine.
right.
I haven't tried it on my X. I will. I will
Please
certainly
do.
try it, and I'll let you know. But on the S, it's running great.
Well, that's Liddy AF.
Absolutely loved it. And since
First
we've
topic.
discussed, I was going to say I added a little bonus topic in just because we were talking about it. Wasn't originally. It is on the TikTok. Plug the TikTok. It's in the QR code in the thing or in the description. Elden Ring is the biggest non FIFA or Call of Duty launch since Red Dead 2
In the
in the
UK. In the
in the
UK.
UK. In the UK. Which is awesome because I read up on a bunch of Soulsborne stuff, and to see a game in Demon Souls, I believe, was the first one that
The
was
original.
not well received originally, and then it came to the UK and the US and blew up so much that they got the second one and they kept being able to make different iterations of it. It's really good to see a game like this do well, because I know like now FromSoft is known because they have things like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. I just like seeing developers that aren't, and to be honest, I don't know what the like size of a company like FromSoft is.
FromSoft is quite big. I mean, I can look it up right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big company.
But I just like seeing things come out of a variety of different like game developers.
322 people. That's a big
That
company.
is, yeah, that is a big game studio.
All right.
But I love it. And I love that it's doing well. And I love that a game like this is doing well because I feel like one, it's not a typical game that's for everyone because of the difficulty. And two, I feel like this has such a devoted fan base, and that devoted fan base was rewarded.
I agree. I think this is the first time where, from what I've read, again, I haven't played it, but based on all the scuttlebutt, it's the closest to making everyone happy. It's the closest to making the hardcore Souls fans happy, and there'll always be, TikTok, Twitter people, get good. But I'm seeing a lot of people who I've never, like Doc was playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing mass adoption of this game on a scale that you didn't see with even Demon Souls, which came out last year, launched with PS5, right? Even though that was a launch game, launch games have great attach rates. You didn't see this, like Doc wasn't playing Demon Souls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
No,
cool. I can't wait to jump in.
yeah, and I think like we were talking about in the last episode, it's almost like its own genre of game.
I would
And
argue it is at this point.
and are you saying that just strictly based on the like difficulty?
No, I would say that the mechanic of dying, enemies reset, losing some of your stuff, like
Okay.
it is so unique. It's not quite a roguelike. It's not quite this. Like it is its
Yeah,
own thing.
I get you. What I do like, and I didn't know, is that I looked back at all of the different like iterations of a Soulsborne game. They're identical.
Yeah.
Like the user interface
Yep.
has not changed.
No, the door opening animation that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's a
that
Soulsborne trademark.
for
Items in your bottom left
yeah.
corner. Yep.
Same thing since the beginning. I love it, and it's really, really good. And it's almost, I haven't sunk too much into it. I'm taking my time. I haven't even gotten to the first like major boss yet. I've had like strong enemies felled and things like that, but nothing crazy. This might be the appropriate level of difficulty for this, like an open world RPG. Like this might be the way you should be playing.
Nah. Give me, and for my Bloodborne players out there, I'm gonna gatekeep for a sec. I'm gonna get good for a sec.
ahead.
Give me an open world Bloodborne where it's just, and I'm speaking right to my Bloodborne players right now, where it's just Orphan of Kaz, where it's just Martyr Ligarius, where it's just Gehrman, Moon Presence, Shadows of Yharnam. Oh my god, Matt, you have to play Bloodborne. I don't care. As good as Elden Ring is, there is no boss fight on the face of the earth that is more satisfying to beat than the Shadows of Yharnam. Okay, because here's what Bloodborne does to you.
Hit me.
You're going through the game and you're pretty much fighting either one person like you or a big giant monster, right?
As bosses.
As bosses. Yeah. And then you get to this little beautiful, quaint part of the game called the Forbidden Woods, which is like the first, I would argue, like real skill test of the game. Forbidden Woods is a great level in Bloodborne. And it's quite a long area, very hard enemies. There's just balls of snakes moving around. And then you get to the Shadows of Yharnam, which is you walk into the boss arena, Matt. Google them, and you'll see them.
I am.
And it's just 3 dudes. One guy's got like a what the hell are they called? It's like the ball at the end of the stick with spikes on
Flail.
it. The flail. One guy's got a candle and a sword, and one guy's got a sword. And let me tell you, you got to fight all 3. And the quicker you fight them, or the longer it takes you to fight them, the stronger they get and the more they evolve. And when you kill one, the other 2 get stronger. So there's this beautiful dance where you have to like hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, hit 1, hit 2, hit 3. So you're chipping them all down at the same time so that Matt, the Shadows of Yharnam, and for everybody who's played, it's probably one of my favorite boss fights in games, probably the best boss fights in games ever. And I can't wait to see if they top it in Elden Ring.
I was going to say, like I said, I haven't gotten to any of the like super like big boss fights, so I'm excited to get into them. But let's talk about some game news.
Let's talk about some business game news. Article number 1 here in the old document. Amazon sets Luna free. And this article is coming to us from ye old Yahoo Finance. I feel like we never use Yahoo Finance.
Can you do the Yahoo jingle?
Yahoo! And we've been copyrighted, right? This is coming to us from Yahoo Finance. I'm trying to look for the author here. Not seeing it, but article on Yahoo Finance titled Amazon opens Luna video game streaming to anyone in the US. Reading from the article now. Amazon launched its Luna video game streaming service for the general public on Tuesday in the United States, aiming to expand its multi-pronged empire into the booming gaming industry. Luna allows players to access games directly online with no need for a console as part of the cloud gaming technology that is seen as the future direction of the industry. Quote, Luna harnesses the power of the cloud, enabling customers to instantly play high-quality, immersive games on the devices they already own. Amazon Entertainment Services Vice President Daniel Rausch, R-A-U-S-H, said in a release. Amazon had limited Luna to members of its Prime service as it fine-tuned the service, which takes on Xbox maker Microsoft and PlayStation maker Sony, as well as Stadia, fielded by Google. Luna Plus subscriptions cost $6 monthly, with that rate set to rise to $10 at the start of April. And then you guys could read the rest of the article here. I don't want to take too much away from it, but interesting. I mean, full discretion here. I never played Luna because I got so burned on Stadia. I would argue, one of the biggest proponents on Twitter of Stadia when it got announced, right? Because yes, it is the future of streaming in some form or another, whether it's Game Pass, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation Spartacus, whatever that looks like, that is the future. We've made peace with that, right? And now it's just who's going to get there first and how is it going to be executed the best. But when Stadia came out, I was all hyped because I said, oh my God, this is the perfect storm. Because to me, the thing to make something like this work, Matt, is not necessarily the games, but you got to have infrastructure. You got to have infrastructure to make something streaming work on this level, right? So I said, a company like Google and a company like Amazon and maybe Apple, But they're the two who are poised to really make this work. Obviously,
Mhm.
since then, I've eaten my hat on that quite a bit. So that's the background. I've never played Luna. I've never tried Luna. If you have, we'd love to hear from you. But
I have,
you have, yeah. So I'd love
because
to.
I immediately got it as soon as I saw it. I was like, "Oh my god, what titles could Amazon have possibly have gotten outside of Ubisoft?"
Mm-hmm.
Which they have at when I had it, they had limited Assassin's Creed games and Immortal Phoenix Risings. And I will not go again into how much I hate that game, but I just looked at it now. It looks like they have all of the Assassin's Creed. They have Far Cry 6 on there. They're not original stuff, but there's stuff outside of the Ubisoft, which is an additional fee to play those games.
And just for clarity, is New World on there?
No, I had to
Okay,
get that through Steam.
got it.
New World and I think Lost Ark is the other
Lost
one.
Ark is that other one they just launched.
Yeah,
Okay.
both not on there, which absolutely ridiculous. But they're very. If you look at their catalog right now, it's very unimpressive titles. Like they're not things that are graphically challenging. They're not things that are super cumbersome to launch through a cloud player. Besides the Assassin's Creed games, which in themselves aren't like marvels of technology. An MMO would have been cool. And I think it would have been a selling point for Luna to put those things on there to begin with, but they didn't, which confuses me because I'm like, do you not believe in the MMOs you're putting out and don't want to ruin Luna with it, or do you not believe in Luna to have them be where these MMOs live?
So
For
here's my question, real quick.
yeah,
So in terms of its content structure,
Mhm.
is it you subscribe and then you have to buy each game? Because I'm looking right now. Okay, I could get Devil May Cry 5. Do I subscribe to Luna and then have to have to buy Devil May Cry 5? Because that's how it was on Stadia. Or your ticket gets you Devil May Cry 5.
I believe your ticket gets you Devil May Cry 5.
All right. Fact check us on that, because that was also something I was kind of put off by with Stadia. Like,
Yeah, no, I just picked a random game. I picked Sonic Mania because I know you're a big Sonic fan.
the biggest Sonic fan.
And it just said play with Luna Plus
Gotcha. Okay.
as part of your subscription. So it looks like that's it. This is Yakuza, same thing, play with Luna Plus. So it seems like no, you're not buying the games. You're just streaming them and you could play through there. But I mean, it's great. I love cloud services as a whole. The issue is that until it gets to the library, I'm not going to buy it.
And again,
Should
look, high tide raises all boats kind of thing, right? Like, this
what
is
does
good
low tide
for
do?
low tide sinks all boats.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is low. This is not a high tide
No,
situation.
I would say that, this type of competition, let's call it, right? Because anybody in the market is somebody to learn
Okay,
from, whether it's from their mistakes or from their successes. And
I
I think if you're
agree.
Microsoft, the thing to learn from Amazon is their backend implementation here, right? Game Pass has Luna and PlayStation Now dead to rights as of now, right? Like, there's a clear winner, and that winner is Game Pass. That streaming winner is xCloud. But where I think Microsoft has a big opportunity to learn from is Amazon's back end, right? Because like I was saying before, like, the reason I was so bullish on Stadia was because Google owns Google Fi, right? They
Yep.
own their own sort of ISP product. So if you're Amazon and you own and facilitate Amazon Web Services, that might be something where, Microsoft owns Azure and they implement that into their streaming platform as well. But I think that's where you're going to see a lot of cross-pollination here, because the idea of what the streaming platform is pretty cut and dry at this point. Like, nobody's going to come out with something that is easier to understand than Xbox Game Pass. Here's the price, here's the games. You download them or you stream
Yep.
them, right? Like, the wheel's been invented on this.
So I think the only way that Amazon really takes off with Game Pass or with something like Luna is if there's some type of integration between it and Twitch.
What would that look like?
I I don't know because they don't have main series titles. What I was thinking is that if you were to put a New World or a Lost Ark on Luna, if you make streaming your games seamless to Twitch, where basically you could log in and press a button and you're now streaming to Twitch.
I mean, I thought, and going back to Stadia here for a second, that was what really hooked me and sold me on Stadia was, all right, I'm streaming directly to YouTube Gaming, and the
Yeah.
community integration with that was like, all right, I'm a big streamer. You could take like a deli ticket and queue into the games with that streamer playing
Yeah.
that game, right? Like that's an awesome idea. And I would love to see it done. And especially if you own Twitch and especially if Twitch is on its back foot, some kind of integration on that level.
Yeah, and I think with then you open yourself up to not needing like major games because you have that Twitch integration. Like imagine if they put Among Us on Luna and then did exactly what you're saying, where you could queue into your favorite streamer's game because you were streaming it on Luna with them, and you could wait and you could market it like that. So you're not necessarily putting out game of the years, but you're putting out community based
Okay,
video
Last
games.
of Us Luna,
Yeah.
the Luna of us. Hire me someday. There's a freebie. There's a market. Welcome. I'm just giving these marketing gems away here, man, for free.
While we were talking about anything but what Bobby was saying. We're talking about we were talking about Luna, which indirectly we're talking about Game Pass. And there was a development. And this article,
Is this
Game Industry.
topic 2? You gotta
It
let the
is.
people know, man. You can't just sucker punch them into this. A topic 2.
I'm trying to be more professional with it. No more topic 2. I'm just going to seamlessly transition, and you're going to be in the edit wondering what time we transition into the episode.
Yeah. Your professionalism is my hair pulling during the edit. But yeah. Fair play. All right.
So, GameIndustries.biz article. We got it right here. Xbox has sold 2.3 million consoles in Japan over the last 20 years. What a small amount.
Read the article and then I'll absolutely eviscerate these sales numbers. But have this moment.
No. I'm gonna point this out for a very specific reason. But a report shared that Microsoft has sold around 2.3 million Xbox consoles in Japan since the original console arrived in the country, which means very, very, very little. Most of them, almost, what is that? Like 75% of them were Xbox 360s. Xbox 360 sold 1.6 million, total 2.3 million. So the Series S is looking better than the Xbox One, but it doesn't sell good in Japan. And I'm going to ask Bobby, why do you think so? Eviscerate me.
Here, all right. So this is one of those articles where it's like, you know what this article is? This article is the meme where it's like the first panel is the guy with the medal and he's popping the champagne, he's all hyped up and he's biting the medal, and then it zooms out and he's like 19th in line. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I mean, all right. So memery aside, I think this is impressive for a foreign console, right? Which you got to think about for a second here. Most consoles that are successful, in fact, all consoles that are successful other than the, Xbox are Japanese, right? Nintendo, PlayStation, Sega. So that's, for a console to like, America has an established market of Japanese consoles dominating, right? It was Nintendo, then it was PlayStation, then it was Xbox. And Xbox quickly rose, especially during the 360 era, to sit in that upper echelon, right? Like,
Yep.
if anything, surpassing at the beginning of the Xbox 360 generation, surpassing the PS3, surpassing the Wii in terms of the cultural zeitgeist. Like, Call of Duty had a lot to do with that. I think in Japan, it's a different style of play, right? Like, I know mobile gaming, handheld gaming is much bigger in Japan, and it's also a foreign thing, right? It's interesting now. It's almost like TikTok, right? TikTok is the first social media that wasn't originally American developed, right?
Yep.
Like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like. So the whole zeitgeist around TikTok and how it got so big so fast is, somebody else is now doing what we do on the level that we do it, right?
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to Japan with the Xbox, I mean, these aren't stupendous numbers. Like, I think this is a great breakdown article of, hey, here's where we're at, here's where we're going. And it kind of breaks it down by units. I mean, original Xbox, 474,992 units. Xbox 360, the biggest one, 1,616,128 units. Xbox One, 100,000 units.
Bad.
Xbox Series X, Series S, 142,024 units. I mean, Xbox Series X and S have been on the market for a year, so fine. Xbox One is
Bad.
just abysmal.
Yeah.
Um,
So what this peaked for me, and it says it later on in the article, is that this provides a little bit of financial context to the ABK acquisition for Microsoft.
how so?
Those games, a lot of the ones that they got, specifically the bigger names from ABK, are Call of Duty, Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, Overwatch, and Candy Crush. Those are all games that do very, 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 very well in Asian markets and that like sector of the world. And it was quoted by, I think it says it later in the article that Phil Spencer had said it. Stressed the importance of a global launch. It had said prior to the console's release that the firm intends to do a much better job of reaching players in Japan. For the first time, launched. Oh, and they decided this time that they were going to launch the Series X and S the same time in Japan as they did in
US. And again, I mean, even if you look at in the gamesindustry.biz article here, you look at the top 5 selling titles over time. Dead or Alive 3, Star Ocean 4, Tales of Vesperia, Blue Dragon. Like, those are all, like, especially the Tales games, like, that's a through and through JRPG, right?
Yep.
So even in the games that you see are being attached to the consoles, like, I understand where you're coming from. I think it speaks a lot to the Overwatch Candy Crush purchase. I'm curious where Xbox X and S land in the pantheon, right? Because Sony's picking up steam finally. Sony's finally finding its footing after a rough, I would say, first year of PS5 between supply shortages and good content, but not banger content. Like, we had Ratchet and Clank. Now we have Horizon. Gran Turismo 7 just popped. We're getting God of War in September. We don't know what's coming after that, right?
Yep.
But
except for Wolverine.
Oh my God, I can't wait. But what I'm saying is I'm curious to see how this all shakes out, rough sales numbers in the end, with how this goes. I mean, Japan is an interesting market when it comes to sales across the board, because even a company like Sony that's based in Japan, when the PS4 was coming out, PS4, a Japanese product from a Japanese company, launched in North America first. right? So it shows you how where the market shift is going, and it's interesting for Xbox to then say, hey, we didn't forget about you guys. Why don't you give us a chance? So from that angle, I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, and I think it also speaks to what you were saying when you brought up the top 5 games that were purchased, where those were all very JRPG focused, and that type, like the genre that usually sells really well on Sony. Those are titles that I associate most of those with, especially like Dead or Alive. I associate really with a PlayStation because that's where I've really only ever played Dead or Alive. But I think this APK acquisition is giving them titles that they could put back on that top 5 list that go and flow with the genre and rhythm of those top 5 games better than what they have to offer right now.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on in terms of sales.
I'd be interested. Where do you think, and this is obviously wild speculation, considering we're only a year into its life cycle, but at 142 units in the first year,
142,000 units.
142,000 units. If I gave you the over under of 1.2 million over its life cycle,
I think that's safe.
Would you take it?
I think that's, I'd say under, but I think close to it. I think it lands in the upper 6 figures though.
So you think it's more like 900,000 units?
Anywhere between 750 and
okay,
million and a half.
I don't know.
I just don't see the killer app that really breaches the Japanese market in a way. I think that's a market that's well established in its buying patterns, and again, I think the opportunity there lies in the messaging of we're doing worldwide releases. Yeah. PlayStation didn't do a worldwide release with PS4. I don't think they did it with PS5 either. I think they did it with PS5. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I know they didn't do it with PS4. So I think approaching from the angle of we're here and we want to help, or we see you, we hear you, is a very interesting sales tack.
Yeah, and I really think that they could get. I think we're gonna see in like 3 or 4, maybe the 5th or 6th year of the Series X and S's life cycle, we're gonna see the Activision Blizzard King launch a game, and I hope it's StarCraft.
And StarCraft 3, 4?
I think 5.
No. Regardless, StarCraft 3.
Check us in the comments. What StarCraft are they up to? Regardless, a new StarCraft iteration
is one StarCraft iteration too many. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I know, but it would do really well in that market, and I will go on record that I believe that StarCraft will be the first. I don't want to say that because Overwatch 2 is definitely going to be it. No, Overwatch 2 is going to come out before ABK gets completely taken over by Microsoft. StarCraft is going to be the first ABK game under Microsoft's umbrella.
You're forgetting something.
What am I forgetting? Is it
Diablo.
Overwatch?
Diablo 4.
Yeah, but that's been announced.
Like unannounced game. Okay.
Yeah, like it's going to be the first thing they announce of like, oh, it's us now. It's Microsoft. This is what we're announcing. Yeah. Because Overwatch 2 has been announced. What did you just say? Diablo 4 has been announced. That takes a lot of the larger IP off the table. So I'm shooting at like fish in a barrel with StarCraft, but I'm hoping that that's it. I really think it'll do great for the market. But with that in mind,
next topic.
How do you like this transition? Topic 3.
Boom, boom.
Dick. You guys didn't think we were going to talk about it.
Yeah,
of course we're going to talk
about it. Going. We buried it 48 minutes. It was a big week, man. We had a couple light weeks, couple little appetizer weeks, but boy oh boy, man, Sunday. Pokemon Day, last Sunday. I was up working and I completely forgot that it was Pokemon Day. Like an adult, I was working, immediately punched through my monitor with pure excitement as a 26-year-old grown-ass man. It was Pokemon Day, and that they were going to have a 7-minute direct.
Loved it.
And that there were 3 Pokeballs in the image. So I knew we were getting something. I was hoping for Let's Go Johto. Nope.
This is better. I'll take this over
it's
Let's Go
not.
Johto. Yes, it is. I don't like the Let's Go
Matt,
games. However,
tell the people what got announced and what we think about.
Overarching highlights. 1, the Shaman event for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Great.
Next
you could
slide.
already get it in Legends Arceus. Ridiculous. Free content for Legends Arceus. I love this. Nintendo doesn't do free things. This is nice. I enjoyed it. New new Pokemon Unite character, Duraludon. I played Pokemon Unite. It's surprisingly fun.
It's surprisingly Tencent. Next slide.
I understand. I would like a main series crossover event with Pokemon Unite, like a Manaphy, like a Meltan. There should be an exclusive Pokemon for Pokemon Unite. It should be in Gen 9, and I want Pokemon Unite to be a thing.
Jirachi.
No, Jirachi exists already.
Easy. Don't kill me over Jirachi, man.
Alolan Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Go. Mobile game bullshit. We don't care. More mobile game bullshit, but mobile game bullshit we care about is Pokemon Masters has whatever new thing. And this is a hot take. And when I was unhappy at my first job, this was a large what I did instead. And I played so much Pokemon Masters, and I absolutely love this game.
Let me explain something to you. As
Tell me.
on-go revenue 2021. Okay, hold on. Pokemon Go generated in 2021 $1.2 billion in revenue. I would argue Pokemon Go is one of the most important games of our lifetime.
Whatever. I'm not talking about Pokemon Go. I'm talking about Pokemon Masters. Pokemon Go is obviously cool. Hold on. No.
I refuse.
I'm going to poke up Pokemon Masters revenue.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Playconomists, thank you for sticking with us while Matt looks up numbers to a superiorly inferior game in the Pokeverse. While he does that, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to talk to you guys for a little bit.
Oh my God.
About the Pokemon Direct. And how we've yet to get a Pokemon Coliseum HD. Matt and I were talking about this. We've yet to get, more importantly than Pokemon Coliseum, a Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Yeah, I remember that game. Shadow Lugia. He was the entire reason you bought it. They were like, let's take the coolest legendary ever and make him even cooler. That's like when they took Charizard, they gave him a shiny. It was black and white. Lugia was purple and like kind of off opaque beige. Awesome. Nintendo, hear me. Hear me now as I'm on my horse.
They didn't release the numbers.
Yeah, of course they didn't. Why would you release bad numbers? So they went through all of that, and then they did what was the most terrible announcement trailer for a Pokemon universe ever, for Pokemon Gen. Matt and I were watching this together separately, live, or texting back and forth. And this security guard, I was like, is this Resident Evil?
I thought it was Detective Pikachu 6.
I also thought that it was like either like the new Detective Pikachu game or like a teaser, because then they showed the coffee, and that was a big thing in the movie. I was like, oh, Ryan Reynolds' voice is gonna be Pikachu again. Also, remember when Ryan Reynolds was Pikachu?
I loved it. I watched that on a plane coming back from California, and it was the greatest thing I've ever experienced.
It was awesome.
Lifetime. So good.
But the security guard is walking through this Raccoon City Police Department. He's hearing all these noises. He goes into this room where there's all these, like, it looks like it immediately transitions from Resident Evil to Uncharted. He's in this room with all these artifacts and stuff like that. And I was like, what the hell is this? And then they start showing gameplay, which looks like it was running on a George Foreman grill.
I disagree. I think it looks better than the other Pokemon game.
No, I refuse to make apologies for Nintendo anymore.
No. I'm not saying it was good. I'm saying it is better than Sword and Shield and better than Legends Arceus.
Oh, look at the graphics.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying it's good.
Anyway,
I'm not saying it's good.
We got a Spain, Portugal, Mediterranean kind of a region. Cool.
Which I love.
I've been saying for years, there's a couple like clear standout regions that have not been touched by a Pokemon game that are like picture perfect.
Yeah.
Australia. How have we not gotten an Australia Pokemon game yet? Think about that for a second. Have you ever
because Ampharos already exists. They wasted their kangaroo Pokemon.
It's a sheep, no? I thought it was because he evolves from a sheep.
Are you trying to tell me that Ampharos?
Anyway, have you ever seen the render of Steve Irwin as a Pokemon master?
Yes.
It's awesome. And I wish that was a real thing. That'd be amazing. Also, India. Why have we not had an India Pokemon? Like, that's such a like unique culture and unique like art style and, you know, style of architecture and color palette. And like, there's a freebie. Spain, Portugal, Mediterranean. Cool. Not what I was thinking, right? Like, we've got Paris, we've gotten Hawaii, we've gotten New York, we've gotten Tokyo. I don't know what the hell Gen 3 would be, but anywho.
Yeah, I forget what Gen. I think isn't Gen 3 might be Japan.
Whatever it is, a lot of water. We're not gonna go back to that.
A lot of water. Lot of water. Trash. I was a dumb HM.
They showed the game, looks cool, whatever, and then they showed the starters, which is really why we're here.
10 out of 10. 10 out of absolute 10. All three of them.
No.
Shut up.
No,
Shut
Matt.
up.
No.
Name
I will not.
one.
The grass cat.
Stop.
It's terrible.
Stop. No, it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
You're right.
I was
It's not the squirrel from the Paris Pokemon.
The squirrel from Paris.
Yeah, exactly. He turns into like an Autobot.
With the chestnut?
Yeah, get him out of here.
That was bad.
That
might have been the worst starter ever.
It wasn't the seal from the Hawaii one. That one was also right.
Primavera? I don't know. I thought that was okay. I understood what they were going for with the fairy typing. So I was cool with it. Stop it.
The fire crocodile dinosaur, I would die for him. Okay, I'm telling you right now.
I would sacrifice everyone.
If the president called me tomorrow and said, Bobby,
Fuecoco's in danger.
Putin's got the fire crocodile. It's up to you. Let me tell you.
I'm tying the headband.
The Rambo headband's going on. Okay.
Immediately, no questions asked. I don't even need a flight there. I will swim. I will swim across the Atlantic Ocean. I don't even know. Is that the closest? Is that the closest way to get there?
Pacific would be the closest way to get to Russia.
Yeah, but I'm on the East Coast.
I mean, so am I. But anyway, aside from that, so the fire dino, awesome. Love him. Would love to see him turn into a crocodile. Right?
Agreed.
Cool. Even though I have a feeling he's going to turn into a snake because his arms are real stubby. I have a feeling he's going to turn into a snake. I feel like that's what people are sleeping on.
My brother showed me a fan theory that he's actually going to be fire grass and that he is a cocoa bean pepper. He is a type of Spanish cocoa pepper.
Your brother needs to stop drinking, okay?
No, I saw the same video. It's got merit to it, and I have seen leaks that he is going to be fire grass. And I was thinking fire grass, water fire, and grass water. Yeah.
I
would love it.
Here's my only wish for this game. My only wish. Also,
Fuecoco doesn't evolve.
Also, Pokemon is the only IP on the planet with enough balls to make a character that is so dangerously close to Donald Duck. Like, can you imagine the lawyers at Pokemon, or they brought them the drawings and they're like, you understand that this is Donald Duck? And the people at Game Freak are like, no, it's not. It's Water Duck. And they're like, okay. We get that. But look at the hat. You've made Donald Duck. And then the Game Freak people are like, listen to me. What is Disney? What is Disney going to do to Pokemon?
Did you see the Mermaid Man? Not the Mermaid Man. the meme with Patrick and
With his
Manta
ID,
Ray,
yeah.
Man Ray.
So
And
this
he's
is you.
just-
This is your wallet. Yes, which makes you Patrick
So-
Star.
So this is a duck
Yes.
with a captain hat,
Yes.
with clothes, but
Yes.
not pants.
Yes.
This is Donald Duck. No,
No, that's Water Duck Starter.
that's Quaxley.
I mean, adorable. I would also die for him.
Yep.
Then we get to the names. Scarlet and Violet.
I like that they went back to colors.
Cool. They went back to colors. Neato. I don't know what the hell that means. I'm waiting to see the legendary.
Oh shit! I didn't think of that.
Well, yeah, it's always they're always going by
Well,
the
they're
legend.
gonna
One's
be red and blue.
red and purple, which we've had. Remember the moon bat and the sun lion from
We also had Gen 3 was red and blue.
oh my god, just bring back Groudon. What if they were Matt, my ultimate wish, because we're spending a lot of time on Pokemon.
Not enough time. This was big. It's Gen 9. I'm instantly spending $60.
Yeah, you're part of the problem. I mean, so am I. I'm also gonna be part of the problem.
It's pre-ordered already.
Here's what I beg. I beg and plead Game Freak with. No bullshit gimmicks. And I know there's going to be one. And I understand that I was part of the problem when they came out with Mega Evolutions, and I said that this is amazing. And then Pokemon Company said, awesome, well, now you get Z Evolutions. I said, no. Just go back to Mega Evolutions.
Let me tell you something.
And then they said,
Gigantamax.
Gigantamax. And hold on.
That was it.
Whatever the other one was, because there's Gigantamax and Gigamax.
Oh, no, Gigantamax and Dynamax.
Betamax. And I was
However, I think you're completely wrong. Yes, Mega Evolutions were cool. Gigantamax and Dynamax forms were cool. I think Z moves is what they should have done.
No, I think Dynamax, Gigantamax was the most terrible thing ever.
No, it was definitely the worst one. I think the easiest to implement was Z moves, and I think they should have started with that, and they should have stuck with it.
Mega Evolution forever. Mega Swampert, who turns into Vin Diesel.
Yes, but then you're just playing old Pokemon, and you're bringing them back into the game.
I'm sorry.
What do you want?
You're just playing old Pokemon? You mean to tell me you're playing Legends Arceus and they're like, hey, remember Arcanine? Here's Arcanine, but he looks a little different. And you're like, oh my God, it's Arcanine.
Yeah, but that's different. That is different than Mega Evolutions.
Next topic. I can.
Oh my God.
Gen 9 coming this holiday. Kudos to Pokemon banging out so many titles back to back to back to back. I really thought we were going to get full-scale Legends Arceus DLC. I don't think that's happening now. I think this is the next thing. Neato, cool.
Do you know what we didn't talk about?
Yeah, I moved it to the bottom because it was such an egregious topic.
Wait. Oh, yeah. No, I moved that to the bottom, first of all. What we didn't talk about was that Pokemon Cafe remix.
Next topic. Epic Games has acquired, and this is interesting in these acquisition wars coming to us again from gamesindustry.biz. Epic Games has acquired music store Bandcamp as part of a creator marketplace ecosystem. Very interesting here, right? And then, like I said, this is coming to us from ye old gamesindustry.biz by James Batchelor. Reading from the article now, Epic has acquired online indie music marketplace Bandcamp for an undisclosed sum. The second acquisition in the last year that takes the Fortnite firm beyond its traditional realms of technology and video games, following last year's purchase of artist platform ArtStation. The acquisition was announced on the website of both Epic Games and Bandcamp, with the latter emphasizing that it will continue to operate as a standalone marketplace and community for independent artists and their fans. This is a lot bigger than I'm seeing on the internet. Because no, this is big. And I know we're kind of alternating topics here, serious topic, heavy topic, serious topic, heavy topic. I think this is one of the most tactical acquisitions in the space right now, especially when you look at who it's coming from, right? Fortnite over the last 5 or so years has positioned itself in front of our eyes as a digital hub for more than just video games. Think the concerts, think the cross media stuff with all of the skins. Now this is, to me, this is Fortnite's play at Roblox. This is Fortnite putting Roblox right in its crosshairs, right in Moisty Mire, and saying, we are all about user creation. We are all about unique spaces within our little Fortverse or whatever you want to call it. This is big. And guess what? If you can create and purchase and swap worlds, that's an NFT. Especially if it gets minted on the blockchain. That's the next step here. What are your thoughts?
Do you know what I think would be really cool?
What?
Is if you could you could do the make your own world thing, kind of similar to the way Roblox is, but you could put your own music into the concert.
I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. I think because this is an indie marketplace, you could upload your music to Bandcamp and have it be usable within Fortnite. You'll get a kick, I'm sure, at some point, the same way, Spotify streams and all that kind of stuff works.
Yep. And I mean, imagine it's also good for, I don't know how many people use Bandcamp as like their main streaming platform. But imagine if I went to...
It's a marketplace, not a platform, right? So it's a place to buy indie music.
Yeah, but does it need to be indie music, or is it just because only indie music uses it?
That's what it's positioned as. I mean, it was started in 2007, 191 employees. I'm trying to look up the valuation here.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking, imagine if you could get a Justin Bieber to sign here because they want their stuff exclusively played during these digital concerts in Fortnite and things like that.
I agree. That's definitely the future. And I also think that it has a potential to integrate with larger indie bands and smaller indie creators to both have a user created space and a large scale event space.
Yeah. And to be honest, I just like the collaboration between art forms. I like the collaboration between music and video games because I think it's a very... They just go hand in hand because of the virtual world aspect of video games and the appreciation of music literally anywhere. The only thing that music is missing to transcend it into more of a media form is visuals. And I think it works perfectly in a video game form where you can go to a virtual stadium and experience music.
I agree. I'm curious how much this was for, because I'm looking up, and maybe I'd have to pay for it, but I'm looking on PitchBook and stuff like that for the company's value, for Bandcamp's valuation. I'm not able to find it. If you know Bandcamp's valuation, drop it in the comments below. But that's about that. Matt, you got one kind of meme topic here. You want to tell the kids about it?
All right, so we got 2 more topics to cover. You're obviously trying to...
I was saying one more topic and then listener questions.
That's fair. Small topic. Very, very, very tiny. It's basically a sentence. Square Enix just trademarked Gex.
And that's
Do
all
you
we're
know what that means? No. Gex. It's here. We're getting the remake. The gritty, all that matters.
The gritty Gex reboot that we've all been asking for.
Let me tell you something. If I don't get a Red Dead 2 quality Gex game, I'm going to be very happy still because they made a new Gex game. But you know what I want, Square Enix.
Yeah, you're going to get more Avengers DLC, though,
I have a feeling. However, let's quickly do our 2 viewer questions. Which controller is the best?
Matt,
and what franchise?
Who submitted these viewer questions, and where can people submit their viewer questions if they want to get their questions read aloud on the Playconomics podcast?
So this was by the accountant, both of these actually, and You could submit them on Discord. You could submit them on Instagram. We run a weekly Instagram story to give us your viewer topics that you would like us to discuss in the show. You could send it to us through email, playconomicspodcast@gmail.com, or tweet it at us. Any of those ways. Would love to hear your questions. Love talking directly to what you guys want to speak on. I'm going to give you a short answer and a long answer for both of these questions.
And the first question is,
what is the best console controller? Before you answer, we're doing a full episode on it. No, we're not. The other one we're doing a full episode on. Yeah. This one, it's the Series S controller.
No,
the Xbox. It is.
It's a tie between SNES and DualShock 4 are the two best controllers of all time.
You know what's the worst? What's the worst?
Dreamcast.
I was gonna say either Dreamcast or the original Xbox.
Oh yeah. You could kill somebody with that original Duke controller.
So freaking bad. The next topic we are going to do a full episode on, but do you want to just release one?
Yeah, I'll give a little preview before we do our Playconomics Plus episode. Which franchise should get revamped? Which franchise should come back? The easy one, considering my borderline fanaticism on last week's episode, is Spy Hunter. I would love a new Spy Hunter game, but no, I'm not going to say Spy Hunter, even though that's what the kids at home think I'm going to say. And I'm not going to say Resistance. I'm not going to say Infamous. The game
good games.
Of course I did. The game series that needs a revamp and that we as a gamer base need desperately now more than ever.
Desperately.
Is Max Payne.
Oh,
you didn't think I'm coming with that one.
I wasn't. It's gonna make mine sound stupid because that's a good game. I would like to note that mine are not games.
Yours is Microsoft Paint.
No, mine are not video games that the general public would want a reboot for. Mine are specifically for me.
Stratego. No. So, real quick, we got GTA 5, we're getting GTA 6, we got Red Dead 2. I would love to see Rockstar go back to Max Payne. Because that's what they did the first two, and then I believe Remedy did the third one. But the third Max Payne is so goddamn good. Like, forget the bullet time combat. Like, just the way the story's told. Like, so many people sleep on Max Payne 3. Like, especially now, the world we live in, like, with all these, like, sad, brooding, anti-hero characters. Like, there would be no Joel from The Last of Us without Max Payne. Okay? Max Payne drank all that liquor so Joel could kill all those clickers. There it is. There's the tagline for the episode.
Okay. Well, my game, and it shouldn't come to any surprise. They need to reboot Gex the Gecko.
Okay, I need you to stop. People are paying for this.
It is such an underrated series. It was so good. The one-liners, the background, just
how many? I don't think you could make a Gex today. I don't think some of that Gex humor was all.
Some of the Gex. If they could put out another GTA, I could get Gex the Gecko.
Yeah, but like Rockstar is the only one who could get away with that in this day and age.
All right, Square Enix, sell it to Rockstar so they can do it.
That's what we need. I'm Googling how many countries Gex is banned in. So shocking amount.
Really?
No. If you guys like what you hear, we're bringing this in for the landing. Thank you for all your questions. You can submit them where Matt was saying. Links to all our stuff in the QR code down below. The Discord is popping, is blooming. We're gaining members by the day.
Yeah, it's been really fun with Elden Ring. It's been really fun. in the
Join us
Discord.
over there. We have some great channels all about finance news, all about memes, all about stonks. We'd love to have you there. If you found this episode valuable, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Share it with a friend you think will enjoy listening to us talk about the business behind video games for an hour and 14 minutes. And until next time, I love you.
And I'm playing Triangle Strategy in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So happy gaming.
Happy gaming, everybody.